What's going on, everybody? It's Omar Almodovar here with Elite Recruits. In today's video, we have a very special guest, one of our former players, to share his recruiting journey, his story, and where he's headed off to school now. So take it away. Tell him your name, where you're from, what position you play, and what school you were at when we first connected, and where you're headed to now.
Awesome, man. My name is Frank Diaz. I'm from Broward, Florida. I'm an outfielder, and I was previously at St. Thomas University.
Sweet, sweet. So take it back a little bit. So before we started working together, it was the end of your season. What was going on with your recruiting at that recruiting process at that point, and like where were you stuck at?
Yeah, man. I mean, starting off, I had no coaches on my phone, nothing at all. And one of the biggest challenges I was facing in my recruiting process before I was working with you was definitely putting myself out there and reaching as many coaches as possible. And I mean, that was my biggest issue, like getting out and reaching to those coaches and working with you, man. My exposure expanded and really I was able to get out there and reach out to those coaches.
100%. And funny enough, we are just catching up a little bit before we started recording this, and we are talking about how important it is to be open to opportunities, right? You're a guy that, hey, South Florida, right? I'll probably share this video with guys from South Florida as well, maybe similar situations where everybody wants to stay down here, right? I wanted to stay down here too. You got a chance to stay down here. You realize, hey, that's not the end of the world. It's not going to make sense for me to stay down here, but not be able to develop and get the reps and the playing time that I need to get to my goal, which is professional baseball. So you went ahead and you took a chance on going out of state, and you absolutely loved it. We'll talk about that in a second. But for you, once we got started, right, we talked about your goals. We put together a game plan to like help you get to where you wanted to do. Talk a little bit about, like how important was it for you to like actually have a game plan and have somebody helping you instead of just trying to figure it out on your own?
No, yeah, of course. You know, I really learned how important it was to have a game plan during my recruiting process. Before working with you, I just thought that if I played well enough and put up good numbers, you know, eventually someone would see me. I would just play with my fingers crossed saying someone is going to see me, someone's going to reach out. But, working with you, I learned, having a game plan is super important, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it helped me stay consistent, and push myself out there and get in front of coaches. It definitely gave me a much higher chance of getting recruited, with the game plan that you set out for me, and your help. It really helped me stay consistent and reach out to those coaches and put my part in my recruiting process to say, hey, look what I got. Look what I can, bring to the table instead of just sitting there waiting for someone to see me.
Exactly. 100%, especially in this day and age where there's so many guys transferring schools, so many, opportunities that are being wasted by guys with talent just because they're not out there and coaches don't know they exist. So for you, let's talk a little bit about, as a Florida guy, right? South Florida guy, just like me, you wanted to stay down here when we first spoke, but we talked about what the big picture was, right? You want to get to a Division I level eventually. You want to play professional baseball eventually. How eye-opening was it for you to go and see schools out of state and ultimately, choose a school up north where it's going to be the best fit for you? Talk a little bit about your mindset going into the process, wanting to stay down here, and what changed your mind about going out of state.
Yeah, of course. We had a couple phone calls, right? And I would tell you, once you gave me that game plan, right? And how to send out emails and how to communicate and, the schools to reach out to, my main goal, was to stay here in Florida, obviously, because I live here, I'm used to the weather. And I was trying my very best, emailing, posting videos, reaching out to stay down here. But you told me, it's just look outside the box. Don't be afraid to step out and go, out of state because there is a lot of good comp out there and there is a lot of good coaches, with great programs. Just the thing is with me was I wasn't aware of that, but being with you, you helped me open my eyes and say, look, go out there, showcase what you got up there, put some numbers, right? And then you can come back down and
Exactly.
really, really,
Yeah, make a
you know,
difference. At a
Mhm.
program. Exactly. It's not about, hey, getting to wear the uniform and being part of the team, but not actually contributing
Exactly.
versus going somewhere to a JUCO out of state, putting up your numbers. But then when you do come back down here, you get to go to school that you really want to be at and also be able to, make an impact on the team and play every day. Obviously, you still got to go and put up your numbers, but it's a lot easier of a path to do that when you're on the field instead of just, getting sparing playing time. So for you, talk a little bit about, actually going in person to Allegheny County and seeing everything. Like, what changed your mind about going out of state once you're up there, and how would you describe the fit there for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Going in person and visiting really helped me, right? Making my decision and really being firm on it, right?
Mhm.
Because on paper with the schedule and everything, I mean, they're a great school. They're a great school. They had a great season last season. You know, the coaching staff, meeting them in person, you know, learning about them, learning about the program, and seeing how interested they were in, bringing me in and helping the team win, and how, involved they were in also winning. They want to win. Every team wants to win. And they brought me in saying, look, you know, and honestly, man, going and visiting just was
I,
was a,
yeah,
was amazing. It was amazing.
yeah, like we can have all the schools that we really want to go to the most, but at the end of the day, it's about what place wants you the most, right? Because you're gonna
Mhm.
have a chance to fail, right? This game is full of failure. Well, you can go to a place that doesn't really want you, fail and get written out, or go where they really want you. And then when you fail, they're gonna invest into you to help you improve and see you get good results. So that's what it's all about. Now, a lot of players, that end up watching this video, they might wonder like, oh, what it's actually like, working with me and inside the program. For you, like, how would you describe the support, the communication, your overall experience?
I'm gonna start off by saying professionalism. I mean, you were super professional. I mean, the support and communication from you were honestly, top notch, man. I'm gonna keep it real. You're always professional and super quick to respond to my text, which was really helpful because in the moment when I'm posting something on Twitter, I needed your opinion or and you were right there answering, hey, put this, no, say this, hashtag this, and the angles and everything. You were quick to respond and, quick to help me learn in the process. You were there with me side by side. I can't say like I was waiting on you or nothing. No, super professional, super on top of me, helping me, pushing me, and also giving me the tools to learn by myself. And
Exactly. And that,
also,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And if I
that
ever needed a quick call, you made yourself available. I know you have a summer team and you have a bunch of other kids that you're working with, and you would always, give me quick 10 minutes and walk me through and talk to me. And if I needed a quick phone call, you're always there, man.
100.
Yeah, yeah. And plus your connections with coaches and your ability to get players real exposure made a huge difference in my whole recruiting process, for sure.
100%. No, I appreciate that. And like that's all honest truth, but it's easier for me to do that and like respond quickly because I care, right? Like not long ago, I was on your side of it and I understand firsthand like how difficult it is, how frustrating it is. I failed a ton, but by my failures, I learned from them. So now you don't have to go through those same struggles. And it makes, your life a little bit easier because it's not easy trying to balance school, the transfer portal, summer classes, summer ball. Like it's a lot of stuff to do at once. So for you at least having some sort of guidance. And I'll give you kudos because you are not a guy that I had to babysit saying, hey, have you posted? Why aren't you reaching out on your end? Because you're on top of that. And that's why you get the results you get. I always tell guys up front when I talk to them, don't expect that I'm going to sit here and do all the work for you because that's not reality, right? I already played. I can't go turn around and play again. I can help you get to the levels I got to, and I can help you get to where you want to get to, but the effort has to come from you, right? And you are one of the guys that one of the best at doing that. So I'll give you props on
Thank
that.
you, thank you, thank you. Also,
Um,
I want to add in real quick was like you said right there is like we're just keeping it real, but like something you said, because you care, and I truly saw that, throughout the recruiting process towards the end, when things started slowing down, I was ready to make my decision, you know, we weren't texting as much,
mhm.
but and also I didn't want to bother as much, sometimes on weekends or the beginning of the week I didn't want to bother, you know, but you were on top of me saying, hey, how's it going, or hey, did you go visit yet? Did you like the visit? You were reaching out to me, and that really showed me how interested you were into your work and how driven you were to really, you know, help me find school. And yeah, man, I love that. I love that you were on top of me, just showing that you cared.
100%, 100%. So let me ask you this. So obviously, both from the same city or South Florida, we hadn't met though, right? And the first time we talked was over a Zoom phone call. When we first connected, were you unsure about, working with somebody online you never met before or paying for recruiting help? And like what ultimately changed your mind?
No, yeah, I mean, I have a previous friend of mine that worked with you, and you know everything he said from working with you, was great things. And of course, going into something that you're not aware of,
Mm-hmm.
it's normal to, have doubts or just, should I not? And, can I do this by myself? Or, you start, just thinking those things is normal, right? But, one of my friends that has worked with you, and he went through this process with you and you helped him find a school. He said the same thing I'm saying right now. I mean, the professionalism, your connections and the exposure you help them get, and yeah, man, that it's truly helped. Yeah.
Now, if somebody is watching this and they're still on the fence about working with me, maybe they don't have somebody that worked with me previously to ask around and, they're unsure about it because they've never met me and it's a risk, right? What would you tell them?
Oh no, working with you, I mean, you're getting 24/7 guidance and advice, right? You're getting someone that has experience and you have and receipts of taking people, helping people find homes and good schools and powerhouse schools, right? Also, you're getting someone who's professional, who like I said before, like, has a track record of players getting to programs and helping them find the right fit. I'll definitely recommend elite recruits to anyone that has doubts or,
Yes, sir.
want to find a school. Either you're a transfer, like I was, trying to find the next spot, or coming out of high school. I mean, if I would have known you in high school, without a doubt, I would have, hopped on a call with you. Yo, let's get to work, you
Yeah,
know?
100%. And that's the thing too. Like I like even how you just said, yo, that's cool to me because it's not, yeah, like sure, this is a business at the end of the day, but like I don't treat it that way, right? It's more of a friendship and a brotherhood and a mentorship,
Yeah.
right? Because we may not be that far apart in age, but I just got to the places that you want to get to. And for you to get there now, the process around it, nothing to do with your skill set. The process to get there has become so much more difficult for guys. So the least I could do is help you get there while building a friendship, right? Like you've already signed to a school and I'm still staying in contact, checking in when you're going up there. And like that's what's really cool about it for me.
Yeah,
So
100%.